She stood at the glass entrance of the towering Manhattan office building, her toes pressing nervously against the cold marble floor. People rushed past her in polished shoes, briefcases swinging, heels clicking with confidence. No one noticed at first that the young woman standing still had no shoes at all. Her name was Lily Carter, and this was her first day of work. Lily adjusted the thin cardigan wrapped around her shoulders, trying to ignore the stares that were beginning to land on her bare feet. She had walked 6 subway stops after her shoes finally fell apart that morning. There was no money to replace them, and missing her first day was not an option. This job was her only chance to escape the cycle of poverty she had been trapped in since childhood. Inside the lobby, the air smelled of coffee and expensive cologne. Lily approached the reception desk, her cheeks burning as the receptionist's eyes flicked downward. The woman hesitated for a second too long before pointing her toward the elevators without a word. Lily whispered a quiet thank you and hurried away, wishing she could disappear. On the 42nd floor, employees gathered around coffee machines and glass offices. Conversation stopped briefly as Lily walked past. Some faces showed confusion, others pity, and a few quiet smirks. She kept her eyes forward, repeating the same sentence in her mind. Just get through today? What Lily didn't know was that someone was watching her from behind the tinted glass of the largest corner office on the floor. Daniel Wright, the billionaire CEO of Wright Innovations, had arrived early that morning. At 38, he was known across the United States as a ruthless businessman with a sharp eye for detail and zero tolerance for weakness. Or so the media claimed. Daniel noticed Lily not because she was barefoot, but because she didn't complain. She didn't ask for help. She didn't explain herself. She simply sat at her desk, back straight, hands folded, and began working as if nothing were wrong. That quiet determination stirred something unfamiliar in him. Later that morning, Daniel called the HR director into his office. He asked one simple question: who is the new girl in marketing? The director explained Lily's background. Orphaned at 16, worked 2 jobs through college, graduated top of her class, never missed a deadline, never asked for favors. Daniel listened silently, his jaw tightening with every word. At noon, Daniel did something no one expected. He walked out his office and crossed the open floor. Conversations died instantly. Lily looked up, her heart dropping into her stomach when she realized who was standing in front of her. "Walk with me," Daniel said calmly. She froze, then nodded, following him toward the elevator. Inside, Lily stared at the numbers climbing, convinced she was about to be fired. Instead, Daniel took her to a luxury shoe store 2 blocks away. He handed the salesperson his card and said, "She needs shoes. Whatever she needs." Lily tried to refuse, her voice shaking, but Daniel stopped her gently. "This isn't charity," he said. "This is respect." When they returned to the office, Lily was wearing simple black flats, her eyes glossy with unshed tears. She expected whispers, judgment, maybe even resentment. Instead, something shifted. People smiled at her. A few even apologized quietly. But Daniel wasn't finished. That afternoon, he called an all-hands meeting. Standing before hundreds of employees, he spoke about dignity, about unseen struggles, about how success means nothing if humanity is lost along the way. Without mentioning Lily by name, he announced a new company initiative. Full support for employees facing financial hardship, including emergency assistance, transportation aid, and mentorship programs that by the end of the week, Lily received a promotion she hadn't applied for. By the end of the month, she was leading a project that would change the company's future. And by the end of the year, Lily had become one of Daniel's most trusted team members. Years later, when asked in an interview what moment changed his leadership style forever, Daniel didn't talk about profits or acquisitions. He talked about a young woman who arrived barefoot on her first day of work and reminded him what real strength looks like. And Lily? She never forgot that day either. She kept her first pair of office shoes in a box under her bed, not as a reminder of where she came from, but of how one act of compassion can change everything.